Just over 5 minutes of the session remaining. Fair play to Enea Bastianini. He's just climbed on that second bike, dusted himself down, straight back in the groove. Looking for a hot lap here as well, although he's lost a bit of time in that third split. Time which is going to cost him what looks like a spot in that top 10, 19th at the moment for Bastianini. He's going to win, well, he doesn't, he improves his time but stays in P19. Looking at the timing screens here in the commentary box, Binder, Bezzecchi, who are on board with now, Martin and Marc Marquez all on hot laps, but it's the perfect time to ride on board with Bez, number 72, dropping down through the third gear, turn 9, about 120 kilometres an hour, back one gear to second, down to 100 clicks now, powers the GP22 out of the final corner. Is this the best time of the day so far? It is, and it's a new all-time lap record going the way of Bezzecchi. Brilliant by him in Spielberg, a 1:28.533. Pablo Nieto will love that one. And that's put Bez nearly 3/10 clear then of Bagnaia. Zarco was the quickest man this morning. He gets himself back into contention. He's up in the 4th place on the Prima Pamela Caddy. What about his teammate Jorge Martin? That's more like it. Up 12 spots in the blink of an eye. 17th to 5th for Martin.
We're going to remind everyone that Marco Bezzecchi on pole right now with that time is in his 2nd year in MotoGP, and he's young.
And he's so strong at the moment, Simon, on soft
Consistently.
tyres. Time attack, we've seen him pole the last 2 races, pole in Assen, pole in Silverstone. This is no great shock, is it? We're getting used to seeing, whether it's qualifying, whether it's sprint scenarios, Grand Prix scenarios, Marco Bezzecchi is now a mainstay at the front of these battles. At the moment, that 1:28.533 may well take some deposing here. We follow Marquez down the hill. He's not something to work out. He had Paul Espargaro on the inside there, and that clearly distracted him.
Yep. And you know what Mark was saying in his helmet?
Yeah. It wasn't going to be very, very complimentary. It wasn't going out before the 9 p.m. watershed either,
Well,
was
the thing
it?
is, Mark was on the same time as Vinales at the split before. You know, only 0.4 or something, or 0.4. Anyway, same sort of time. If Vinales isn't, you know, flying, so Mark has to be disappointed with that.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Vinales. Been impressed with him, taking a lot of confidence from his first Tissot sprint podium last time out. Here we go, Simon.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, Pole was in the middle of the circuit there, and Marquez wanted to turn in right at the space that Pole was occupying. Vinales then, we just talked about him, we've bigged him up in this session so far, and it's looking like it's a big up that's not been misplaced, because Vinales has been superb in the first sector on his current lap. He's up by nearly 1/10 and a half, so Bezzecchi's 1:28.533 may well not be an all-time lap record for too much longer. Miller climbs up to 12th place. He's running out of time at the end of the session to get himself directly to Q2. Vinales, he's the man we need to be following. His teammate Aleix Espargaro over the line. He's up in the 9th place in the danger zone. Vinales, though, through the first half of this Spielberg lap, is up by 0.144. Whole bunch of riders running off at the top of the hill into turn number 3. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Maverick Vinales as he clicks through the 3rd sector very, very shortly, because Marco Bezzecchi is 28.
Is it rain, no?
Just wonder if they put that, yeah. Oh, Vinales, he's lost a little bit, a whisker of time in the 3rd sector. This is going to be really, really close. There is Vinales on the 12 bike, just out of your picture. He comes now through the final corner. There is Maverick Vinales at the back of this quartet. Is he doing enough to knock Marco Bezzecchi off top spot? Over the line he comes. No, not quite good enough. First 2 sectors, though, were absolutely awesome by Vinales. Looks like, though, he's 1:28.577, enough to get him in the Q2.
So, what happened to Mark? He has enough time, and if he's looked after that tyre, to have another go at it. You know, even though he got balked by Pole there. So hopefully, on the last flyers, we still see some action.
This is a big 60 seconds or so, and a big couple of laps for Aleix Espargaro, because in all the drama, all the frantic change of positions late on here, Aleix Espargaro, the British Grand Prix winner, has been pushed down to 11th place. Now, as you can see there on your screens, estimated P7, so that will be okay. Yellow flags right in sector 2, which is not going to disturb this lap for Aleix Espargaro. Over the line he comes. It is P7 then for our most recent Grand Prix winner, 1:29.052. Yellow flags have been quickly withdrawn. That may well have just been for a quick run-off. We pick up Marquez then now, getting the power down. You can just see that ride height device dropped down on that rear tyre for the reps on the man. He's sideways, that's not going to work, is it? Into turn 3, that's how hard he's pushing, the risk he's having to take. Now it's Bezzecchi. Marco Bezzecchi then is going to end this session in the gravel trap. He's going to be top man, looks fit. Valentino Rossi's boss on cue. Well, it's a technical. It's a late technical, or whether he's just run out of fuel. Maybe he's running the light fuel load. Have they just run out of juice?
That'd be my guess as well, Matt. Light fuel, a little bit too light. Well, this circuit is the hardest on fuel.
Look at that, he stops right in front of the boss, who leans over. Bezzecchi just informs him, tells him what's going on. Valentino Rossi then. That's about as close as Valentino's got to riding a Ducati for a number of years. But at the moment, the consolation prize will be a pretty big one, because Marco Bezzecchi looks like that 1:28.533 is going to make him the fastest man on Friday here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Well, there's the master and the pupil in many respects, isn't it? Rossi and his new superstar Marco Bezzecchi.
Yeah, this circuit, they even run a different type of fuel to the circuits that aren't as hard on fuel. It's basically heavier, thicker, not quite as much power out of it, but it's to help it get to the end of the race. But the problem is, fuel consumption wise, is so much of the lap is full throttle, Matt. They just drink it. They've only got 21 litres, and it is so difficult to get to the end with the volume of time, you know, the amount of time the thing is wide open.
Yeah, it's two words that come to mind when you mention Spielberg. It's stop and go, isn't it? That's without question. This has been looked at then by the FIM stewards. Now, Polispargo's on 2 or 3 good long looks over his left shoulder there. Do you think this is worthy of a sanction, Simon?
He blew Mark's lap. You know, he thought he was far enough ahead to not get in his way, but he didn't judge it right, and he cost Mark that lap. That he was on a ripper, a really good lap, and he was in Mark's way. So I don't know what they'll decide to do, but yeah, it was Pole's fault, clearly.